Good morning. It's time for another installment of Trust Matters Real Estate and Estate Planning Solutions with Gateville Law Firm's Sean Robertson. They're in Yorkville and online at gateville-lawfirm.com. And Sean in studio with us once again. Hello there, Sean. How are you today?
Doing great. How are you doing today, Mike?
We're doing pretty good as we focus today on a topic that has to do with beneficiary designations in estate and living trust planning. What does that, what's like an overview of what that means?
Yeah, so basically what that means, Mike, is a lot of times the reason people end up in probate court is because of beneficiary designations. And what do I mean by that? Like people that have IRAs or 401ks, you go through like Fidelity Investments, for instance, or your local bank, and you list a beneficiary. Normally you have a primary beneficiary that gets listed first, meaning maybe that's your spouse or your kids. And then contingent beneficiaries are if something happens to the first primary beneficiary. So beneficiary designations are very important in estate planning.
Yeah, and so the direct beneficiaries, it's those that have, like you mentioned, the 401ks, those types of things, and then it's just how it's divvied out from there, the other terminology there.
Exactly. So one thing people get confused and sometimes people call me where they're like, my mother had a will, and the will said the bank account was going to go to me. But what the will says doesn't really matter because what is at the bank is what matters, or what the life insurance provider has matters. Where a trust comes in is if you name the trust as the beneficiary, that's kind of how you avoid probate court. But a lot of times where people get in problems are one person dies unexpectedly and they just never got around to updating the beneficiary designation.
Okay, another part of all this, and we've touched on this in the past, estate planning. What's the breakdown here?
Yeah, so basically the breakdown here is the way you avoid probate court. The one thing a lot of attorneys don't talk about with living trust are your living trust should either be the beneficiary of things such as the life insurance or should own your bank account, your savings accounts. So what a trust asset is it's either owned by the trust or the trust is a beneficiary. So that's the difference between a beneficiary designation and a living trust planning strategy.
There are benefits of integrating these designations with trusts, right?
Right. I mean, the main benefit that people like are avoiding probate court because if you set up things the right way, it eliminates the risk that people have. It gives control and protection to the family as well because your assets are managed and distributed the way you want. And in some families, you have complex situations. You may have minor beneficiaries or beneficiaries that you don't want to give access to the money right away.
Well, with these beneficiary designations, the wills, living trusts, and all the rest of it, the best thing you're trying to do is just set up a solid plan for everything.
Yeah, and that's the thing. That's the one advantage of the trust is you have a lot of backup plans where, unfortunately, with beneficiary designations, if you're in probate court and you don't get to changing it, you're in probate court, which costs a lot of money and headaches, quite frankly.
And, of course, this is where Gateville Law Firm can come in and help with all of these different situations. And the best thing to do is just make that first step, make a phone call, right?
Absolutely. Yep. And then we can help you from there.
All right. It's Sean Robertson and Gateville Law Firm. The topic as we focus on today, beneficiary designations in estate and living trust planning. It's part of our show, Trust Matters, Real Estate and Estate Planning Solutions. Gateville Law Firm located in Yorkville. They're online too at gateville-lawfirm.com. At Gateville Law Firm, Trust Matters. We'll see you again next week.